video in a while, but we have so much going on that I thought I would give y'all an update. We had a huge development take place this past year. I don't know if you guys remember, but in my very first video, I had mentioned that we had wanted to do an addition and like close in our carport and add a couple bedrooms maybe as our homestead like grows, and we were able to do that. We're so grateful. It's been a really crazy busy year, but I don't know if you guys can see behind me, but this is all the carport that's closed in. So that's why there's a dumpster and a porta potty in like every shot, and every time I walk out here I seem to grab them in the shot, so that's what you're gonna see. So last year the weeds were so insane that I kind of got disheartened like halfway through the season, and I would come out here in the garden and just feel like, okay, do I feel like weeding for 4 hours? And I was just sick of it, so they just kind of took over and we harvested what we could, and I was surprised at how much we were able to harvest, even though the weeds were crazy. Yes, I hear you. Somebody's laying. Did you know that that's why chickens are loud like that? When somebody's laying, when one of the chickens are laying, they'll all make like loud noises to distract predators to not attack the one that's laying. I thought that was neat. So come and check out what we're doing in the garden. If you watch the Charles Dowding videos on YouTube, you'll know that he's into this method called no-dig gardening. And all it entails is blocking out the weeds, right up my alley, with cardboard, and then putting compost, high nutrient dense compost, good quality organic compost on top of the cardboard. And then you can just plant directly in that. It looked really simple, and I thought, why hadn't I heard of this before, tried this before? So I'm gonna give it a shot. His garden looks beautiful. He's in a different zone than I am. He's in an 8-9 zone. I'm in a 5. So I'm a little behind him as far as like planting schedules and all that. But as far as the method goes, I should be okay in this zone. So I'm gonna give it a shot. With the house being done, they had a bunch of siding, so we had a whole bunch of boxes, and we opened those all out and laid them down. And I got donations from friends and neighbors, and so we laid it all down in a single layer, although at the creases I've overlapped it to make sure that the weeds can't come through. I don't remember if I showed you guys at the end of the season. I had some sunflowers and some other vegetables in there, but the weeds were just like totally entangling them and like choking them out, and so it was just like a forest of weeds. So I have like doubled the amount of cardboard. There's a lot of overlapping going on in here because I know that they are super aggressive. The compost that I'm using is an organic compost from a local farm. We had it delivered the other day, and so I've been laying it out in the rows that I want, right here in the garden. And I've got some plans too. We're going to create some new beds over there, and on the side of the greenhouse, and I'm going to do 2 big long rows there. And then for the existing beds, we're going to add a little bit of this good compost on top, maybe like 2 inches, just to booster it a little bit, and then we'll start planting there too. Usually if I chase the chickens away, I just clap my hands a few times and they'll run. Yesterday, I'm chasing them around. I'm like trying to get them out, and they just would not leave the compost area. Like worms hanging out of their mouths. It's good stuff. Big red dumpster. I feel like I should give it a name because it's been in our yard for months. This is the old carport. And so this will be a nice big workshop for my husband. And we'll have a little workout space over there in the corner. So we are at the front of my house, and that top floor right there to the right is all new. So this was existing house. This was existing. And so they just built the whole second story over that. So that gives us 2 extra bedrooms. We got some of these fake eggs and marked them with an X to encourage the chickens to start laying late in the winter, especially since it was the first winter that some of our chicks had. So we just wanted to give them a little incentive. And so if they see eggs in the nest, they'll kind of naturally go toward it. Plus, we moved this nesting box to just kind of renovate in here a little bit, and because it was a new spot, the fake eggs encouraged the older chickens to start laying. This is the kids' chore, but it hasn't been done in a couple days, I can tell, because we only have 11, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and she's laying, so it's been like a day. I decided to start seeds inside this year because his method of planting, Charles Dowding method for planting, is like cluster planting. You plant all the things really close together, and then as they get bigger, you can separate them out and then grow them from there. So you basically save a lot of space when you first sow them indoors. And so really this is just for, in my case, it's going to be getting a head start on the cold things, so like cabbage and Brussels sprouts that can go out in April here in Zone 5. And also onions. So usually I buy the seed onions, not seed, what's it called? Like the little bulbs, you know, they're like little baby onions. Usually I buy those, but the seeds were much less expensive, so I thought I would give them a shot now. I'm so excited. So there, I'll show you my setup. So all I did was I grabbed some Tupperware containers that I had, these big ones, and they were just doing nothing, empty in my basement. So I grabbed those, and then I just grabbed these Dixie cups or whatever, the plastic party cups, and a bag of organic soil, and that's it. And I grabbed these lights from Lowe's. I think they were $40 each. I think you say Fight or Feet electric. So those have been really good. They're full spectrum, and they don't seem to be lacking anything because all the seedlings are really healthy so far. So guys, look at my onions. Aren't they so cute? Hold on, let me lift this up. Look at them all. Okay, so you can see how many I sowed per cup, right? So what I'm going to do is probably this coming week, I'm going to separate those out into 4 groups of 4 onions and put them in their own little pods and let them grow together like that, and then plant them like that. And when I transplant them outside, these are tomatoes and peppers. They're all starting to come up. I think the thing I'm most excited about planting this year are these things called nadapinos. I found them on the Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds website. Nadapinos are like jalapenos. They taste like them, they look like them, but they have no spice. So I'm really excited for those, and I love the name Nadapino. What is it, puppy? What is it? You want to be out with the kids? Yeah, that's my sweet girl. Okay, let's go outside. Want to go outside? Okay, let's go. So other than that, let's see what else is going to be going on. There has been alpaca talk. Local people that we know have alpacas, and they sell their manure to gardeners. So that was an unexpected source of income that we could maybe use to offset the cost of raising them. So that's exciting, and we do have some space for them in the far end of the yard. So maybe that'll come next. I'm not quite sure yet. We still haven't made any decisions. But right now, the next thing is that we're going to start planting directly into the garden. into that compost, and I have to stay on top of the weeds. So a big part of this no dig gardening is that you've got to come out and spend like a little time in the morning and pick out the little weeds when they're little, and then you don't disturb it. So like no tilling in the fall, none of that. You just add more compost to amend it when you need to, and then leave it. Even when you're pulling out the plants to harvest, to disturb the soil as little as possible. So that's going to be how we approach it this year, and I'm really hoping that it addresses the weed issue, because I'm like so over weeds. These buff promise crack me up. They have feathers on their feet and they just look so fancy, like they shouldn't be digging around the dirt. Like it makes me laugh watching them walk through and like dig through dirt and leaves with their big fluffy feet. This is what I have become, okay? I watch chickens for 100% pure amusement. Well, that's it for my update, guys. I'll be in touch soon and keep you posted on how that no dig gardening's going. All right, talk to you later. Bye.